Hi everybody! So today I wanted to make a video to talk to you about one of the books that I have read, which I found really helpful for decluttering and starting to simplify my life a bit, moving towards more of a minimalistic lifestyle. So that book is this one here, which you might have heard about before because it's a very popular book at the moment, and it is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying by Marie Kondo. I believe in America it's called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and it's got more of a green cover. So it's written by this Japanese author called Marie Kondo, and she has this method for tidying up, and she calls it the KonMari method, and it has some basic principles to it. Now, when you're doing decluttering normally, a lot of places suggest that what you should do is to sort your stuff according to location. So you'd maybe begin by decluttering a set of drawers, for example, or begin with one room, and then once you have that room organised, then you'll feel so good about how tidy that room is that you'll then want to go and tidy the rest of your house because you'll think, this looks fantastic. But what Marie Kondo does is she actually recommends that when you're decluttering you should sort by category, not by location. And she says that the reason why you should do this is because you might actually have lots of items belonging to the same category scattered throughout multiple locations within your home. And if you don't get all of those items together in one place, then you don't really know what you have to be able to sort through it effectively. And so you might end up with lots of versions of the same thing, which you don't really need. So she says, firstly, you should organise according to category, not by location. Secondly, she says that there is a set order that you should go through these categories in, and I've just got a list here which I'm looking at just to remind me of the way that she goes through it. And she says, firstly, you should start by going through your clothing. And she says that because for most people they'll find that clothing is actually something that's easier for them to go through than other things. They don't have such a strong sentimental kind of attachment to their clothing as what they will to other things in their house, and so it's easier for them to go through those things and decide whether something is important to them or not. The second category is books, then after that it's papers. After that she says that you should go through what she refers to as Komono, and these are actually what we would call miscellaneous items, and she breaks that down into subcategories. I'll put those below so that you can see all the subcategories, but just to give you an idea of some of them. For example, there's DVDs, there's kitchen items, there's items that you might use for hobbies, there's makeup. And then lastly you would go through sentimental items, and she leaves those to the end because those are the things that people are really strongly attached to and would have a lot of difficulty letting go of. So once you've sorted out the categories that you should go through, you would begin by going through your clothing. And what you should do is you gather all items of clothing together in one location. What you can do is divide it into smaller subcategories. So for instance, you might find it easier, she says, if you go through seasonal items first. So say it's the middle of summer, you might find it easier to go through your winter items to begin with and say, well, do I really want to see this item the next time that gets round to winter? So you could begin with that, or you could go through all your tops and then all your trousers and then all your dresses, and do it like that if you find that you have so much stuff that you just couldn't do it all in one go. So gather all your items together in one location, and then what you're supposed to do with the KonMari method is you pick each item up one at a time, hold it, which is a really important part, and ask yourself, does this spark joy? If it doesn't spark joy, it means it really needs to go. So I actually started doing some decluttering before I found out about the life-changing magic of tidying. And funnily enough, I had been doing it by category. I had started by going through clothing, and then I had moved to books. So category-wise, I was doing it the same way as Marie Kondo suggests that we do things. But I didn't ask myself that question of, did it spark joy? And when I read the book, I ended up going back to my clothing, and I found I was actually able to get rid of a lot more stuff than the first time that I went through my clothing. And it's really important that you ask yourself that question and that you're really honest with yourself. That you don't just hang on to things because you think, well, maybe it'll fit me again at some point. Perhaps something was a favourite item of yours a few years ago, but you don't really pick it up anymore, you never wear it, so you have to ask yourself, why is this still in my wardrobe? Now, I do still have a lot of clothing left behind in my wardrobe, even after I've been through decluttering twice this year. But at the same time, I've got rid of a significant portion of my wardrobe. So I know that everything that's left behind is something that I love. The important thing is that when you pick up an item of clothing and you ask yourself, does this spark joy? If you don't really get any kind of a feeling from that item, then it's probably not sparking any kind of joy in you. You should really let it go. And we should really just be keeping the clothes that we really love, that make us feel really good and that we know that we're going to use all the time. And that doesn't just apply to our wardrobes, but that should apply to all the things that are in our lives. Because if we're hanging on to things that don't give us any joy, that don't give us any value, that we don't use, then why are we hanging on to them? Another thing that Marie Kondo suggests is that you should tackle all of the decluttering first, and then you should do organising after you finish the decluttering process, because she says that you can't find a space for all of your items to live until you've finished the decluttering process. And so you should do that first before moving on. If you have any questions or comments, then please leave them below. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!